所以，来吧，备下龙，在平安中，阿泰来，戴上王冠，巴拉，他的新郎，波伊卡拉，来吧，新娘。这是一首优美的希伯来婚礼歌曲，仿佛天上的天使在呼唤等待了6000年的新娘，勇敢地站出来，为将要来临的天上君王戴上荣耀的冠冕。
谁是紫薇圣人？2. 紫薇圣人必须姓陈。以色列家最重要的祷告就是听呀以色列，这既是上帝提醒以色列人你们要听呀，也是以色列人祷告上帝的话，听呀，以色列人在祷告。人只有听见了才会走对路，当人脑最初阶段发育时，哪里有视图信息？全是声音主导的，也就是说，母亲的心跳、自己的心跳，加上母腹中环境声音，造就了人脑发育的外部因素。所以说，当人熟睡时，一个尖刻的声音就能让人醒过来，而不是图像冲击。这就告诉我们，人对声音，特别是警告的声音，特别敏感。这就是为什么上帝要把听呀当作第一重要，要以色列家关注上帝的声音。那亚当家呢？也一样，那就是听东方的，这就是陈字的由来。而东旁，中国字中就根本没有一个字是耳西旁的，这就是告诉读懂中国字的人，要听东方圣人的话，听紫薇圣人的话。可很遗憾，因为东方圣人并没有大群跟从者，所以就算是妥拉玛，这从天上来的智慧，而且是3500年前的，也没啥人当回事。就像当年没有人拿亚当的杖、雅各的杖、约瑟的杖当回事，直到摩西拿着它带我们出埃及，才显示出它的威力。所以当2028年紫薇成就之后，人才知道这杖的威力，大家得看见结果，因为不认识上帝的智慧，这才是可悲之处。紫薇龙小时候常生病，第一次心电图之后就被告知，这位随时随地都会心脏爆裂而死亡，所以不能跑，不能跳，只能在床上等死。老人很难过，一个帮家里发家致富的希望，居然是个病秧子。当所有医生都这么说之后，家里只能去找灵界帮忙。这时就在一个做法现场被告知得改名换姓，得过继给姓陈的才能活命，得叫君陈。没有人姓君的。老人问，不是姓君，而是姓陈名君。原来天上与地上倒过来，直到紫薇出海才知道西洋就是名与姓是倒过来的。从此家里叫这位就是君臣，直到末后紫薇出山发生时，才明白这名字有2个含义，一个是君君臣臣，也就是天上告诉孔夫子，人间的天道就是君要有君样，要公平公正，臣要有臣样，那就是忠诚，这才是孔子君君臣臣的本意。结果被人误解为君要臣死，臣不得不死。天上哪里有死亡？这种胡乱诠释，满地都是撒旦的恶行。而君臣的另外一个意思就是臣性军队。直到有一天，紫薇看见侧面的十字架，才明白上帝赐中国字臣字的奥秘，那就是听被挂在十字架上面朝东方的这位东方人的话，必不至于羞愧。这才是为什么耳东旁居然是被举起的耳朵，像从侧面看一个人被挂在十字架上，这位的话才是真理，因为他要说耶稣说的每一句话，而且是原意。自从改名改姓之后，就再也没听见一声躺床上的话了，而是该干嘛就干嘛，但心脏依然有争议，只能说上帝的恩典是够用的，足够完成上帝的使命。大家要去看自己的一生，越是大的鱼，越会像耶稣的样式，全方位没有加行。
Who is the Ziwei Sage? 2. The Ziwei Sage. He must bear the surname Chun. The most important prayer of the house of Israel is Hear, O Israel. This serves a dual purpose. It is God reminding the Israelites, you must listen, and it is also the Israelites praying to God, saying, listen, we, the people of Israel, are praying. It is only when people truly listen that they can walk the right path. Consider the earliest stages of human brain development. Where is the visual information? It is entirely dominated by sound, specifically, the mother's heartbeat, one's own heartbeat, and the ambient sounds within the womb. These constitute the external factors that shape the developing human brain. Consequently, when a person is fast asleep, a sharp, piercing sound can instantly rouse them from slumber, something that visual stimuli alone cannot achieve. This reveals to us that human beings are acutely sensitive to sound, and particularly to sounds of warning. This is precisely why God placed such paramount importance on the command to hear, urging the house of Israel to remain attentive to the voice of God. And what of the house of Adam? The principle remains the same. One must listen to the east. This is the very origin of the Chinese surname Qinshinxiao. The character Qinshinxinghao is formed by combining the radical for ear with the radical for east. Notably, within the entire Chinese lexicon, there exists not a single character formed by combining ear with west. This serves as a profound message to those who truly understand the nuances of the Chinese language. You must heed the words of the sage of the East. You must listen to the Ziwei Sage. Regrettably, however, because the sage of the East does not yet command a vast multitude of followers, few people take him seriously. This applies even to the Torah codes, that wisdom descended from heaven some 3,500 years ago, which remain largely disregarded. It is much like the days of old, when no one attached any significance to the staffs of Adam, Jacob, or Joseph, until Moses took up the staff, leading us out of Egypt, and thereby revealed its true, awe-inspiring power. Thus, it is only after the Ziwei Sage fulfills his destiny in 2028 that people will finally comprehend the true power of this staff. People require tangible results before they will believe, for they lack the capacity to recognize God's wisdom in its pure form, and therein lies the true tragedy. During his childhood, the Ziwei dragon was plagued by chronic illness. Following his very first electrocardiogram, his family received a dire prognosis. The boy was at constant risk of sudden cardiac rupture and death. Consequently, he was forbidden from running or jumping, condemned, instead, to lie in bed and await his demise. His parents were devastated. The child they had hoped would one day bring prosperity to the family turned out to be nothing more than a sickly invalid. When every medical doctor offered the same grim verdict, the family was left with no choice but to seek assistance from the spiritual realm. During a spiritual ritual conducted for this purpose, they received a divine instruction. To save the boy's life, his name and surname had to be changed. He had to be formally adopted into a family bearing the surname Qinghao, and henceforth be known as Jun Jinchen. Is there no one with the surname Jun? The old man asked. It is not that the surname is Jun, but rather that the surname is Chun and the given name is Jun. It turned out that the ways of heaven and earth were inverted. It was not until Ziwei went abroad that he realized the nature of the Western world, specifically, that their given names and surnames are arranged in reverse order. From then on, whenever this individual was addressed within the family, he was referred to as Jun Chun. It was not until the very end, when Ziwei emerged from the mountains to make his voice heard, that the true significance of this name became clear. It held a dual meaning. The first meaning is Jun Jun Chin Chun, means the ruler is just, the subject is sincere. This refers to the divine message heaven conveyed to Confucius, that the heavenly way for the human realm dictates that a ruler must conduct himself as a true ruler, with fairness and impartiality, and a subject must conduct himself as a true subject, with unwavering loyalty. This, in fact, was the original intent behind Confucius's maxim, let the ruler be a ruler, and the subject be a subject. Yet, this profound teaching was subsequently misinterpreted by others to mean, if a ruler commands a subject to die, the subject has no choice but to obey. But how could death possibly exist in heaven? Such reckless misinterpretations are rampant throughout the world. They are entirely the malicious machinations of Satan. The second meaning of Jun Chun is the army of the Chun clan. It was not until one day, when Ziwei observed the image of a cross from a side-angle perspective, that she grasped the divine mystery embedded within the Chinese character for Chun, which God had bestowed upon the nation. That mystery is this: whoever hearkens to the words of the Easterner who hangs upon the cross, facing toward the east, shall never be put to shame. This is the true reason why the ear east radical, the phonetic component of the character Chun, is depicted as an ear being lifted upward. When viewed from the side, it resembles a human figure suspended upon a cross. The words spoken by this figure, and his alone, constitute the absolute truth. for he is destined to articulate every single word that Jesus spoke, conveying them in their precise, original intent. Since the time this name and surname were adopted, the ominous prophecy that he would spend his entire life bedridden has never been heard again. Instead, he simply goes about his daily life, doing whatever needs to be done. Although his cardiac condition remains a source of medical concern, one can only affirm this truth. God's grace is sufficient. It is more than enough to enable him to fulfill the divine mission entrusted to him by God. Everyone ought to take a close look at the trajectory of their own lives. For the greater the fish, the more significant the soul, the more closely that life will come to resemble the likeness of Jesus, utterly devoid of any outward beauty or majesty in every conceivable aspect.
הארנבת השחורה והדרכון הכחול מסתירים סוד שמיים. בשנת הארנבת נולד, באביב הדרקון קם. בשעת הבוקר ירד אל עולם האדם, וגורלו כבר נחתם לפני השם. שם משפחה קדום אוכן ימים קדומים, לב המלך ישר ולב העבד נאמן. דרך השמיים מסתובבת עם הזמן, ובית שן שומר את העולם בשלום. ב18 אותיות סוד נסתר, האישה נושאת שיבולת ונגלה השם. אלומות ממלכת השמים, היא ממלאות את האסם, והדגים מתאספים באור הזורח. דרכון ועוף החול שרים בכל אחד, הטבע מפליגה אל אופק רחוק. אור הכוכב השמימי מאיר את הרקיע, וברכה זורמת לארבע כנפות הארץ. עץ האפרסמון עומד ליד השוק העתיק, עץ בודי בלי פרח, אותה עדות כפולה. הצלב תלוי מעל עולם האדם, והגורל נכתב בגלי הדורות. חותם היה מסתיר סמכות עמוקה, והחכמה צומחת מתוך סבל. 20 שנים של תקווה בלב, ובשנה אחת פורחים הפרחים למרחוק. מטה יעקב נחשף לפתע, וסודות עתיקים מדברים אל העולם. אור הכוכב מפזר את האפל, ודרך השיבה נפתחת בשערי שמיים. דברים משל ואלהו, סימנים למחזור בין בני האדם. שליח אחרית הימים מצביע על הדרך, והולך עם השם בין ערים ונהרות. בית אדם נושא חולי וחטא, אך הולך בעקבות ישוע צעד אחר צעד. אחרי המלחמה האחרונה מונחת השמחות, ולב האב מוצא מנוחה באור השמיים. הדרכון ועוף החול שרים בין שמיים וארץ, ואור הכוכב